So what happened at the beginning, Heather?
Well, the organisations, what they had in common was low resources. So we had to find a way of engaging in a way that didn't cause alarm and despondency. If you're scrambling just simply to get your to-do list done, how on earth can you find time to reflect? How can you find time to do anything new? So there had been, I think, a resistance amongst these organisations to try new things. So the starting point was very important. What we did was ask the organisations what their concerns were. What were the issues, the burning issues, as we phrased it, that were important to them, that they and their colleagues right across the organisation talked about a lot. So we did it in a very low-tech way because this had to be owned by the organisations. So we got them in a room, we asked them to talk to their colleagues about what the burning issues were. We had a piece of flip chart paper each, 3 columns, and in the first column we wrote down what the burning issues were. The second column started to identify what they needed to know to answer those questions. So if a burning issue was, how can I convince my organisation that the visual arts is important, this from a council-run venue, then the real question, the research question, was about showing benefit. So we were able to break that burning issue down into a whole set of assumptions that needed to be questioned. So the assumption was that the visual arts weren't delivering audiences. So the real question was, are people coming to this organisation specifically in order to see the visual arts as opposed to everything else it had to offer? So once you've identified what the real question is, you can then start to look at how are we going to find out and to talk about methodologies. So as a result of those shopping lists, we compiled a research plan for each of the organisations. This was a powerful tool because it showed them that this information was directly related to resolving the problems that they talked about a lot. So I think there was a strong sense of ownership. And also the starting point was them rather than somebody coming in from the outside and telling them that they were doing things wrong. So we were avoiding the doing things wrong conversation, the review. And this meant that we could pull together the big issues that they all had in common, questions about marketing effectiveness, questions about how big an audience should we have, how often should we expect them to come. There were lots of common questions that we could actually pull together and start making very strong comparisons. And this meant that benchmarking was warmly welcomed by the organisations, and they worked very hard to develop their benchmarks, to collect the data, because it was about solving their problems rather than about a measurement framework imposed by somebody else.